All right, so we got this NA Miata in for a little bit of TLC. We've already got it set up into rocker mode here. So she's right jacked up on the hoist. Want to grab a lamp? So it's hard to see under the rocker guard. There we go. Yeah, so she's got, you know, some pretty typical Miata action going on. Oh my God. So we're gonna get some rocker panels to correct this, and it's gonna be totally awesome. Alrighty, let's get started.
You want to explain the budget bit of this?
Oh yeah, so the budget part of this, it's pretty high end. This is
before anyone goes judging exactly the way we're gonna take this project on.
So this was from Kneetronics, which is a Subaru tuning facility.
They do other.
Yeah, they do other stuff too,
as you can see.
But yeah, this is one of their cars. They wanted us to fix up the rockers in exchange for a free, well, not a free, a tune session. So the motor we're going to be getting them to tune is my nice built 2.5. That's going to end up in my 2007 WRX, and it's going to be pretty radical. All right, so let's begin.
Proper, just add metal where there is none.
Yeah. So yeah, I should mention too, like their budget is essentially $700 because that's what the tune cost. So this is supposed to be a $700 rocker repair, but there are buds, so we're still gonna do a good job no matter what. I'll have to do a little patchel here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's easy though, it's under the fender.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, for the age and location of this car, it's...
California people are like, you can put your
sadly,
best in it.
Sadly, this is one of the better Miatas.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll carry on with some attacking. Hey, attack!
Okay. Okay, I'm using a bigger wire wheel.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, we're trying this again with the real grinder.
Yeah.
So that whole corner has to be replaced. Like there's no saving it. Holy shit.
Let's go check out the other one.
Nice.
Okay, so that's how it looks at a glance. Let's
Rocker
see.
guard hides a lot.
Getting hit in the face with rocker, man. Yeah.
Yummy. That'll be easy enough to make though.
Pure dope, man. Yeah, that's easy. Okay.
Yeah. Done.
You got tetanus now.
I got my tetanus shot about 13 years ago. Rocker panel. But yeah, when you guys are going to buy like cheap used cars, if you guys see black rocker guard, it's hiding a lot. Doesn't look too bad actually inside of the rocker. We're gonna get a little creative with the back since you can't buy just the lower portion of the quarter panel, you gotta buy the whole thing. And honestly, most of it is still surprisingly solid, like it's been rolled, but it's not rotten. So yeah, the back will be creative.
Aerodynamic.
Yes.
There you go.
But overall, for an Ontario car, like it's not a bad vehicle.
Oh.
Okay, so I cleaned up the cut a little bit just to make it easier to make a patch, because the straighter your cuts are, the easier it is to make the patch. Next I'm going to take a die grinder, or whatever this is, die grinder with a sanding disc, clean up all the rust around. This is mostly surface rust. At this point the rust hasn't gone through to the metal, the backside still looks clean. So we did cut away enough of the rust for now. Ideally, you would be cutting probably this whole section out, but this is a very budget job, just kind of make it work. So, here we go. Something like that. Pretty simple. Next, you take this, you transfer it to metal. I did cut a little low here that I'll just make the adjustment when I make it on metal. And yeah, then we're gonna have it all ready to weld. I'm not gonna weld it on because we're buying new rocker panels and we still don't have those in yet. They should be in tomorrow. But I at least want to get the templates made up and the sheet metal bits made. Ideally, you don't want to start welding until you have all of your metal bits here, or else you're gonna be like, all right, this goes here, and then you're gonna see the new rocker panel starts here instead of here, and you're just gonna have tons of little strips and stuff. So until we do get the rocker panels, we're just gonna make the main patches and we'll go from there. Okay, forgot to actually film myself cutting the piece of metal, but I'm sure you guys can figure out how to cut a piece of sheet metal. So cut it just slightly bigger than the template I made, put it on here and just kind of keep working it until it kind of fits the shape you're looking for. Okay, so now we're back on the driver's side. I'm gonna cut a little higher up just because over here the metal is still very thin and that'll be very hard to weld to. So I'm probably gonna go another ½ inch up, cut all the way to the part of the rocker panel you can see, go down. Basically same thing I did to the other side, just kind of straighten up all the lines, just makes it easier for when you make the patch. Something like that. I'll get that transferred over to the sheet metal and we'll start bending. Okay, so I got the cardboard patch transferred to metal. We're gonna start bending it. Final bit is going to be the hole right here. That's going to be pretty easy.
Okay, so the next step, because we're not cutting out all the rust, I do want to
sandblast it so I can get as much of the rust out of the pits and everything as possible. Basically, I took the sandblaster, sandblasted the heavier rust from there and sprayed it all down with rust converter. And now it's time to attack the rocker panel here. We're not going to be doing the whole rocker because in the middle it's fine, there's no bubbles, no nothing. So basically, I'm going to kind of line it up and I'm probably going to chop somewhere around here. some weld through primer. So yeah, we coat the inside of the patch and all the metal around there with some weld through primer. It'll help slow down future rust. And now it's time to get the welder out. Oh, this has been fiberglassed. Check that out.
Wow.
A lot of fiberglass. Okay, so now here's what things get very budget friendly. Normally from here back it's the quarter panel. The rocker panel ends about here. Because we're doing this on a very tight budget, we're going to be putting the rocker panel as the quarter panel. So we'll be cutting it there, cutting this bit out, and then we'll be filling this in with just random sheet metal. At least that's the plan. Let's see what happens. Okay, got it cut out roughly. So it's gonna sit something like this. Now I gotta trim the corner so it sits a little better, probably trim up here a little bit. And obviously make the aftermarket rocker the same shape as the OEM rocker because they never are. But yeah, this is gonna work, probably.
Okay, so the battery died while I was finishing up this bit, but there we have it. Rear quarter welded up, and there's some holes left over from when this car had some side skirts or something. Those are welded up. The front here, all nice and patched. So for a very low budget job, at least it's going to be metal instead of spray foam and Bondo.
What about random chunks of fiberglass?
Ah, yes, that was my favorite. Where is it? Fiberglass without resin. It was just like stuffed in the hole and then Bondoed over. Okay, everything is grinded. It's now time for Bondo. So this is a chemical reaction. You have to be very precise with your mixing. You take a blob, that's a unit of measurement, and then you add a dab of hardener, that's another unit of measurement. And then you take a nice, fresh, clean Bondo mixing paddle. Every time we start working on a new car, we like to get a new set of these. This is a budget build, so we're using a set from another car. And you just mix it till it's all one color. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys a little trick with Bondo. After you apply it, you'll notice it's always like a little bit tacky. And when you start sanding it, you end up clogging up your sandpaper. Take a little bit of brake cleaner, spray it on a rag, and then just lightly wipe over all the fresh Bondo.
Hey, Holmes, what you doing?
Well, squirt some paint on this motherfucker, man. I'll tell you all what.
Fucking right. Now we're using the highest quality automotive grade trim clad.
Yep.
Oh, you even lighten that out.
This is a white roll, man. Remove and weld and just enhance it.
Listen, you guys remember what it looked like. There were holes.
You can show them like the rest of the body parts, and that's kind of what we were trying to match up with.
That's true. Before everyone goes and they're like, oh, you guys did such a shit job. First of all, we know that it's not even close to our best, but this is the way the car has been painted, and that's the door handle off like that.
Probably maybe like dry a little.
Alright, just proving a point. This was just make it look like it may have passed the safety. After the coat dries, we might probably end up doing one more coat. Yeah, one more coat, then we'll put a black stripe with some rocker guard. And then flying around the track, it'll look aight.
Alright, throw down.
Well, originally on the car. If you remember, there was a black stripe along the bottom of the rocker. We were gonna do the same thing, but if you see here, it's hard to tell because rocker guard is usually bumpy, but it had a reaction with the paint and went even wrinklier than normal. So we decided white, everything white.
Yeah. It's cool though, make it look lowered. But we also had to do the
Bottoms of his fenders.
the fenders.
But yeah, she's about ready to reassemble.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, this little marker light was not on, but it was on when I plugged it in. Amazing.
It's amazingly tight.
Yeah, so within the $700 budget, after paying Rob's labor, 2 cans of paint, and
Is that Stittle?
possibly, yeah. And the rocker panels, pretty much hit it right on the spot. Didn't necessarily lose money, but didn't make anything.
Hey, now you got a tune out of it though.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, that's it for your $140 Mazda Miata rocker repair. Some tools required, but $140 spent.